What if I tell you that you're working hard for nothing? You see all this need for activity, all this trying hard in your life, working hard, the effort. Think about all the effort that you're making, your problems, your dreams, your motivation. And is trying hard really working out for you? Are you happy now? Or it seems more like you're in a hamster wheel. Like your head will always come with an idea of why you should keep trying even just a bit harder. And that's how success comes. You just try harder. But if you find yourself that you don't have time to enjoy your day, then you already lost your life. So is it working? All this dream chasing, all this problem fixing, all this becoming something worth it to be loved. Is it working out? Because if it's not, then my friend, I invite you to stop for a second and consider the way you are approaching your own life. And instead of thinking that you have to fix it, instead of thinking that there's something wrong with you, that you're not good enough right now, the way that you are right now, you think you're not good enough. So you need to try. You need to try harder. You need to fix your life. You need to become someone that is good enough. But what if I tell you that all that you need is actually just remembering that your mind got you distracted into a system, a way of living that made you forget who you are and what you are and what actual freedom is and what actual satisfaction is like. That's what meditation is. Meditation is just making the time to sit and remember who you are. And you do that by doing nothing. By doing nothing, I mean, you're not trying hard to become something else. You're not trying, you basically just get out of the hypnosis of your own mind. Because if you find yourself stressed out in your life, not having time to spend quality time with yourself or with the people you love or doing the thing that you really love doing, you find that you don't have time for that, that's a red flag. That you're into a vicious circle of a running rat race that you don't know where the end line is. So you're just running and running and running and keep on trying hard. And sometimes it feels like you're getting closer, but isn't it always the same kind of signal that just keep on a little bit more and maybe now there you will finally get to that place where you can actually allow yourself to be happy and content. It's just a story in your mind. So you're not becoming someone else. That's not what you're doing when you sit to meditate. I know it looks, your mind will argue that, oh yeah, I'm sitting and trying to do something. So it's the same. No. Is this, the answer for it is practical. It's like if we were discussing about love. Yeah, you to some extent can try to explain someone what love is, but if you don't live it, there are no words enough to describe it. So in the same way, I'm talking to you about meditation as a way of inspiring you to connect with your presence, with this moment, going beyond your mind, because that's the problem, if you want to call it a problem. The unfortunate situation that is keeping you feel a bit of a nightmarish kind of life experience where things never get to be perfectly fine with yourself, with anything in the world. And when it seems that it's about to, it doesn't. So your freedom comes not by chasing and by changing your reality to getting your life to be more in the way that you imagine is what you want. But just first thing, just expose all this game by realizing that the only thing you're striving in your life is to find that moment where you can finally rest and enjoy. When you're finally in peace, you're finally joyful. It's just that your mind tells you that in order to get there, you need to do a lot of things. You need to accomplish a lot of things. You need to fix a lot of things that are wrong with you, and you should try to become someone else so you can be valuable. But what if I tell you that it's just your mind talking? It's not even a real problem. So that's meditation. That's a meditation that I'm suggesting you. Getting out of the hypnosis of your own mind to wake up in the presence of this moment where things are just perfect. When you don't feel that you have to change to be loved, that you need to have more money to be appreciated by other people, that you don't have to be known professionally, or maybe just secretly wanted to be a celebrity or someone who everybody knows. All that, my friend, is just signs of you're missing yourself. And then we'll look for it in the wrong places. That's the only problem. It is very important to keep looking for happiness. People try to not to talk about happiness because they think happiness is about pursuing eating more ice cream or having more money or things like that. But no, that's obviously not happiness. Otherwise, people who have more money will be happier. And that isn't the case. Different conversation, man. Of course, you want to. On the other hand, I'm not saying reject the world or reject money in this case, or I'm not talking about that. That is even too much effort. And I'm not talking either to just jump on the couch and stay there the whole day just doing nothing. No, that's most of the time that's unnatural. When you're meditating, you're actually doing something very intense, very present, and very, very alive. It's not just like you're just dozing out like most people nowadays with the guided meditations and with a lack of understanding on how to progress in your meditation. And by the way, that leads it perfectly for me to invite you with a link that you will find in the description or in the comments to a free course to extend this conversation to tell you exactly how to do it with a lot of people who are trying. So I hope it inspires you, and this is not just another video you saw on YouTube, but it's actually that leads you to actually go for it and finally say, okay, what you're saying makes sense to me. Then I'm saying, okay, if that's true, if what I'm saying, this recognition of your peace that is always there, if you have read enough books, you have seen enough videos, then I'm saying, okay, what's the next step? I'll tell you the next step is stabilizing your attention. So the truth, the natural wisdom that is popping up in your mind, you can integrate it fully in your daily life. So you don't forget it when you are working. So you don't forget this natural wisdom in that joy when you're in the middle of the market, so to say, like in the middle of a busy life. You can still feel that peace, that silence, that stillness permeating anything that you could ever do. But for most people, as much as they would like to and will say, yeah, that makes sense to me, I would like to experience that. Well, the only thing that I can tell you is to sit, to meditate, and to consistently ignore your mind, which is going to be a very strange thing to do for most people. And you will say, but I am my mind. Well, here we have exposed the first problem already. That's actually not true, because you can observe your mind. You can clearly see how the thoughts come and how they go, and you're still there all the time. So it's actually not the case, but we believe so. And here's where the problem is. Many people have heard these words before, like you can observe your mind and you detach yourself from it, but you still experience moments of instability in your life where you feel drawn to, triggered by emotions and behaviors that you actually don't want in your life, but they pop up and you feel that you can help it. Just follow it, and you feel like that, and you feel bad, and you don't know why even at some point. Again, the same solution. Sit and rest and start noticing all these patterns of your mind talking. And you at some point realize that it's not that you actually want more money. It's that there is a thought that is telling you, you don't have enough. The problem with that is that as much money as you may get to have, for whatever reason, you will never have enough. So maybe it's better to consider what your actual motivation is behind anything you want to do in your life. Because ultimately, you're just missing this moment. And the only thing you want to reach while you do all that stuff is this moment. And I'm not saying don't do all the stuff that you're passionate about, but that's different, because when you do that, you're actually enjoying doing it. So in that sense, it's conductive to realize that it's okay, that you're fine. You feel happy because you're learning. You feel happy because you're When you're enjoying the processes are great. I'm not saying just sit on and to meditate and do nothing all the time. No, that's just a detox, and a necessary one for most people. If you find yourself continuously distracted, continuously picking up your phone when there is no need for that, you find yourself forgetting what you really want and falling again into these things that you don't want to, and feeling in certain ways, you find yourself trapped again from this trauma, from this past, from this worry about the future. What I'm inviting you to do is to sit and let go of your mind. And you do that by anchoring to one object. There are 10 stages about how you do that. So wherever you are, it's okay. You're covered. So I hope you take my invitation, unless you have another way of going about it. I normally suggest books. I'm going to do it again. I do this every day, but I hope for some of you who are just watching this video and saying, who's this guy? Why should I believe this guy? Well, these two books are written by very much respectable scientists and meditators. The Mind Illuminated, The Attention Revolution. I recommend people to follow them because you will integrate what we're discussing here. I know you are the world, there is oneness, there is no separation, all these things. You know that naturally, ultimately, you're just recognizing what you already are. I know you know that intellectually, but if you want to live it, you have to choose a moment of offering. Offer yourself fully, surrender yourself. And you do that thought by thought, by going back to the object. And there's certain things that happen to people who did this before you and I. And it's not the smartest thing to try to make it on your own when so many people figured it out before you. But you're free, of course, to do it. I see most people doing it. And I hope it's not your case. I think most people, the case is that you don't have access to the right information. So get one of these books and maybe join the community that I'm opening. And feel the freedom from realizing that instead of chasing this moment you imagine in the future where you will finally become this or will have that, notice how that chasing is actually already making you feel miserable in this moment. And that may not feel comfortable in the beginning. But if you have the courage, if you're tired enough of all this soft, continuous suffering in the background of your life and not being able to enjoy, and you may even actually be an actual suffer, and you may be depressed, you may not know what to do with your life, you may be anxious, there's so many ways things can get confusing and wrong. So if you're feeling like that, maybe you right now have the courage to actually let go. And instead of chasing a future, instead of chasing a becoming, realize this moment, your presence, your aliveness, and just resting into that. And your mind will try to distract you sooner or later. But you can train yourself to untrain your mind to do that, and you won't feel distracted. And you can live in this presence, fully immersed all your life, just by recognizing that what you're looking for is something not only that you already have, it's something that you already are. And that's why you cannot find it in the world. That's why you cannot find it in the future. Because you already are it, but you cannot see it if you are busy and distracted. So stop chasing, start living.